World Poker Tour. The biggest games, the greatest players, and the largest payouts on the planet. The WPT is a series of international high-stakes poker tournaments that can turn amateur players into millionaires and make professionals into superstars. With millions of dollars on the line, it's time for these 6 players to live the dream of fame, fortune, and the one thing money can't buy, a WPT title. Tonight, on the World Poker Tour.
Way out west, saddlebags full of cash await the winner of the World Poker Challenge. So let's get to it. Giddy up and deal.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Sexton alongside Vince Van Patten. And tonight, we're at the beautiful Grand Sierra Resort and Casino in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada.
And Mike, it is always fun to be back in Reno. And I'll tell you something. Last year, the big story was J.C. Tran, the Tran Train, taking home his first WPT title. But this season, the big story is there's a dragon loose in the casino. David the Dragon Pham, his 6th appearance on the World Poker Tour. He has made the final table. Will he take home his first title? It's going to be tough because he's up against a young 22-year-old, the chip leader, Jason Potter. He's an online professional. He's got a lot of chips.
And the guy starting out in second chip position tonight has made the money 15 times on the World Poker Tour. He's a former professional bull rider, now professional poker player, Lee Markholt.
We've got a barroom fight at the Old Saloon here in Reno. It's going to be fun. Let's go watch him gamble.
He started 3 days ago with 261 players. 6 players are left, fighting it out for mega bucks and a coveted WPT title.
Andy's going to be 2,000. Blinds are 8 and 16,000. Here we go. Action going to Brian Devonshire. He's a young online professional. He quickly folds. Around to Lee Markholt. He's got an ace-7.
He's a long-time poker pro, 20 years. Former bull rider, did that for 10 years.
He's made it 40,000 to go with his ace-high. Zach Hyman quickly folding. Now Jeff DeWitt also folding.
Now around to David the Dragon Pham. He goes out.
And the only one to beat is Jason Potter, another online professional. And no, he won't play that. So just like that, Lee Markholt taking down pot number 1.
Now, Vince, let me ask you a question. You know, if you're a former bull rider and now you can become a professional poker player,
yeah,
what could you possibly be afraid of in the poker world after you've been riding bulls?
Boy, you're right. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is you go broke, I guess, but that doesn't happen to Lee very often.
Yeah, Lee having a terrific season here. He's actually cashed more times in Season 6 than any other player with 6 cashes. But he's looking for his first WPT title tonight. And with that pot, he becomes our chip leader, Vince, just that quickly.
He's a great player.
I would like to have the worst hand in this.
Last year, of course, the World Poker Challenge, J.C. Tran took down this title, and he also became the Player of the Year. Who's going to win tonight? The Dragon quickly folding in this hand.
Round to the youngster, Jason Potter.
I'll take the best hand and then hopefully get you out before you.
And the young online pro with just a 9-7 here. What is he thinking?
Got a little creativity in him, Vince. Look at this, raising it up here. Makes it 44,000 to go with the 9-7 offsuit.
Now his good buddy Brian Devonshire quickly folding, and now Lee Markholt with a Jack-8 of clubs.
Lee's on the button. He's in position. He's got chips.
Does he have the nerve? No. Goes out right there. Now Zach Hyman going out. And Jeff DeWitt, who's in the big blind here, has King-7. Does he want to compete with Jason? No, he doesn't. Just like that, Jason Potter, the young 22-year-old, is going to take down this pot with just a bologna sandwich.
At least I want a pot.
Standing by right now is the WPT's Kimberly Lansing, who's been following the tournament action all week long.
Over to you, Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was an awesome week right up until the very end. You know, sometimes I wish we had 10 players at the final table instead of 6, and here's why. The grinder bubbled. Chao Zhang went out in 8th, and Phil Ivey took 10th. Interesting fact here, Phil Ivey, whenever he cashes, he makes a final table. This time, he didn't. Lee Markholt knocked him out in 10th place. But even though we lost those really big names, we're obviously still left with an awesome final table. Back to you guys.
Interesting to see which generation wins this tournament tonight. We've got 2 guys in their 20s, 2 in their 30s, and 2 in their 40s.
All right, back down to the money pit. It's going to be on Lee Markholt.
Lee looks down at a big hand here. He's got 2 queens.
Got the pair of ladies, and he's going to raise with it. 40,000 to go.
Zach Hyman quickly going out. It's around to Jeff DeWitt. Jeff, the financial analyst for Microsoft, looks down at Jack 10 of diamonds. Yeah. And he's on the short stack with 6 players left, Vince. Needs to make something happen soon if he wants to stick around here.
He's an amateur player, but he's got an attractive hand. Is this the time you want to plunge? He is going to call.
You always want to see a flop with this hand, so he does make the call.
Dragging out Jason Potter now, looking at a king 7. Won't play that.
Squeeze so we don't have to see a flop here.
Brian Devonshire squeezing a 6-4. He goes away.
How much you have left, Jeff? About 200.
So we're going to see our first flop here. Lee Markholt has the 2 queens. Jeff DeWitt with the Jack 10 of diamonds. And the flop comes king 7-5 with 2 diamonds. Lee out in front with the 2 queens, but Jeff has the flush draw.
Danger, Will Robinson. Action on Lee. Just can't stand that when you have queens and a king pops up, but he's going to bet $70,000 to find out where he is.
Going to test the water here. And that's Jeff DeWitt. Well, man, I'll be surprised if Jeff doesn't go with this hand. He's got the flush draw, doesn't have many chips left.
I'm all in.
At some point, you're going to have to gamble. He is going all in right here with the flush draw. And I'll tell you, he's going to put some pressure on Lee Markholt. So it's going to cost Lee about another $100,000 to make this call.
And look at Mr. Microsoft smiling there, trying to pretend like he's a lot stronger than he actually is. Usually when you smile and act strong, you're weak. This is apparent right here.
Well, you know, Jeff DeWitt would like him just to go away right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like to win this pot, but let's see if the tough Lee Markholt will figure this out.
Pretty sure I have the best hand unless you call mine raised with a king jack.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice analyzing by Lee right there.
Pretty sure he has the best hand.
Well, because he's got 2 queens, he didn't put him on king queen.
Pray for a diamond.
Lee deciphered the situation perfectly. Now let's see if he can get the 2 queens to stand up. He's a favorite to win this pot right now, but Jeff DeWitt must win this pot to stay alive.
What a call! JD, Jeff DeWitt. Jack of diamonds. JD.
JD looking for a jack or a diamond. So he's looking for a J or a D right now, Vince.
If he hits a queen, I hope it's a diamond.
They must catch a diamond or 2 runners to make a straight. Otherwise, he's going to be out of here in 6th place.
Deuce of clubs.
Here comes the turn card.
Wow. He asked for it. He got it.
You know you're running good when you call the cards, what you need, and you get it.
Not only are you a soul reader, you can predict cards.
I'll take the deuce of spades.
Lee likes that card because there's no straight possibility now. Look at this. Jeff DeWitt going to do a little shadow boxing.
Yeah.
He's going to work out a little bit in hopes to catch this diamond. You better come up with a haymaker, Vince, or he's going to be out.
Let's see the river card.
No, the 4 of clubs comes off. So the dream bubble burst for Jeff DeWitt right there. But what a show he put on this week, playing in his first WPT event ever. This amateur player battle all the way down to this final table.
Wow. Completely stunned there. Thought he was going to get it, just did not. Brief moment here at the WPT final table. He's going to pick up $84,000. And just like that, we are down to 5 players in Reno. Stay with us. We're coming back for more.
Try your hand at poker. Play online at WPT on GSN.com.
We play for big pots, small stakes, and the chance to say, read 'em and weep. For the weekends, the all-nighters, and the lunch hour. We play for the legends and for the unknowns who dream of winning it all. For the bad beats and the pocket kings we sometimes have the sense to fold. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Welcome back to the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, where we are just moments away from crowning the newest WPT champion.
Welcome back to the Grand Sierra Resort Casino in Reno, Nevada. 5 players remain here on the World Poker Tour, and the antes have gone up to $3,000. The blinds are $10,000 and $20,000.
Our current chip leader is Lee Markholt with a little over $1.4 million. In 2nd place right now, the youngster at the table, Jason Potter. 3rd place is Brian Devonshire with $640,000. David the Dragon Fam in 4th place right now, and Zach Hyman on the short stack.
All right, and it's on the Dragon, and it looks like he's coming out of his cave tonight for the first time. Going to make a raise. $56,000 to go with King Jack.
Jason and Brian going out.
My bad.
Yep, and now it goes to poker Lee Markholt. call him a ghost because you just don't even see him at a table. Very unassuming, but he does damage. He has an ace-6 this time.
But he opts to lay down the ace-high.
Zach Hyman in the big blind. Already has money in. He's got a queen, deuce of spades. Also elects to fold, so the Dragon taking his first pot here tonight.
This the 6th time he's made a final table on the WPT, has yet to win. Actually finished 3rd in this very tournament a year ago. So the Dragon is a guy you need to fear on the green felt.
You know, he's actually our 75th WPT poker-made millionaire. What a stat that is without winning a title. If you want to see some more information like that, just go to WPT on GSN.com. Action on Brian Devonshire, self-proclaimed nature guy, loves the whitewater raft. And there he's coming in with an ace-9, going to make a raise, 51,000 to go. Lee Marcolt with a queen-jack.
He opts to lay it down.
And now Zach Hyman, the amateur player out of San Francisco. No, he's not going to play his ace-4. Dragon going out.
Well, we're around to the big blind now.
Jason Potter, going to cost him $31,000 to call. He's got a 9-10 offsuit.
Actually got started playing poker by watching the World Poker Tour. Once again, he goes to the think position. He does this a lot when he plays poker. What can he be thinking about here, Vince? He just has a 10-9 offsuit. The guy under the gun raised it.
Yeah, look at Brian Devonshire looking at him. Now, these guys have formed a great bond this week. They're good friends, Brian and Jason.
Vince, let me tell you something. There are no friends on the green felt, especially at a final table where you're playing for nearly $500,000. Forget about the friendship. It's dog eat dog. It's war out here.
Well, it must be obvious because he's going to re-raise his good friend. And a quick muck by Brian Devonshire.
Wow, what a play by the young 22-year-old. Well, we saw him win a pot earlier when he raised with a 9-7 offsuit. Here he re-raised with a 10-9 offsuit to win this pot. So
3-deuce off.
This guy not afraid to mix it up.
I had 3-deuce beat.
Brian saying 3-deuce off. He had a feeling he was being robbed. Jason Potter, nice flim-flamming right there.
I told you I have to have two overcards and deuces.
Now we see why this youngster came to this final table with the chip lead. He is creative.
Absolute kleptomaniac, if you ask me. Just wants to steal, steal, steal. You got to respect that. Zach Hyman now with a 10-3 offsuit. He won't play that mess.
Round to the Dragon. Well, the Dragon is in position. Looks down at a nice hand on the button ace-queen.
Oh, yeah. Very notorious hand on the World Poker Tour. Many players have been busted with ace-queen.
And the Dragon's going to pop it up. Makes it 61,000 to go.
Like he should. Now Jason Potter with the Motown hand. Jackson 5s. Goes out. And now Brian Devonshire also with ace-queen.
I'm all in.
And he says all in.
Just suspects the Dragon might be making some type of move on the button. I'll tell you, tough decision for the Dragon here. Going to cost him all his chips to make this call. You're always fearful that your opponent has an ace-king in this spot.
I call.
He's making the call. So here we go. Chances are this is going to be a split pot. The only way one of them can win it is to make a flush. And already here, Brian hollering for spades.
5 cards to come. Here comes the first 3.
Spades.
Oh, 2 spades. Come on the flop.
It's free roll time.
So Brian Devonshire is on the free rolls, he says. The jelly rolls, it's known. He catches a spade. The Dragon's fire is going to be put out right here. Brian's either going to win the pot or tied. He cannot lose it.
This could be the demise right now of the Dragon, but not there. It doesn't. 7 of clubs.
Teaser.
Well, if the Dragon's going to capture his first WPT title tonight, he's got to dodge a spade on the river here.
Bring me the shovel.
Let's see if he can do it. Here comes that river card. Everybody on their feet. It's a 10 of hearts.
I guess that's fair.
This is going to be a chop pot, a split pot, and the Dragon all smiles. He wipes his brow and says, wow, why did I have to suffer through that?
Emotions running high here in Reno.
One time.
Oh, we're coming back for more action on the WPT. Stay with us.
I come so very close. This is my 6th time trying to win the World Poker Tour title. I hope I got a chance to win. Looking forward to win it. I'd love to win this tournament. I can manage my chip and try my best to win. I'm gonna take the World Poker Tour title. But I strong believe I'm gonna take the title now. I have to win it. That's, my goal to get a title.
We are a city within a city here at the Grand Sierra Resort. You know, the reason that the poker players come to Reno is that they probably tie a little bit of a vacation into the whole experience.
I love it up here. With snow on the mountains right here and all the great stuff to do here.
I like the small town atmosphere. It's beautiful here.
We've always had exciting final tables. Here in the past, a great cast of characters. Just been fun and exciting every time we go to that final table. And tonight, certainly it's not going to be any exception.
Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge from Reno, Nevada. 5 players going after close to $500,000 here, Mike.
And our current chip leader is Lee Markholt, former bull rider. He's sitting with a little over $1.4 million in chips. 22-year-old Jason Potter in second place with a little over $1.1 million, followed by Brian Devonshire, David the Dragon Pham, and Zach Hyman. Well, the dealer exposes a card. Now, it's not a misdeal. The exposed card is used as a burn card. You just replace that card to the player whose card got flashed.
Now Zach Hyman, look what's popped up again. Ace-Queen, caps his cards.
Well, Vince hasn't played a pot yet tonight, but he's on a short stack, and you know he's going to play an ace-queen here, and indeed he raised it, makes it $70,000 to go.
The Dragon flies away, and now Jason Potter with a 6-4 won't play that.
All these players know Zach's a pretty conservative player. Brian going out as well, so one man to sneak by. That's the chip leader, Lee Markholt.
All right, I got the deuce.
And he looks down at Jack Deuce of diamonds. He lays it down. So there you go, Zach Hyman picking up his first pot.
Now, this guy is actually a great player, but he's still an amateur player. He won an event at the Wynn Classic in Vegas, and he picked up $730,000.
He has a twin brother. They're in business together. And there you look at him right there. It was his brother, in fact, that took him to the poker room and got him playing No Limit Hold'em. So, you know, they're partners and everything else. I'm sure the brother's got a little piece of his action here, Vince.
He's actually the CEO of a bank card processing company. Back to this hand. On the Dragon, he caps his cards because he looks down at a pair of sevens. And he's going to pop it up.
And he's going to bet $56,000.
He does, Jason, now. Folding a king-8. Devonshire out with a king-5. And now Lee Markholt looks down at a king-jack offsuit.
Lee, professional player out of Washington. His favorite player, another guy from Washington, Lee Watkinson, who's finished runner-up a couple times on the World Poker Tour. They even look a little bit alike, don't they, Vince?
They do, and they're very close friends. They look alike. They even talk alike. They're a crazy pair.
Lee was going to make the call here with the king-jack.
And now Zach Hyman in the big blind. Already has money in there. He's got a jack-9.
It's going to cost him $36,000 more to make the call. Nearly $150,000 in the pot, so he's getting a good price to make the call.
And you know, if anybody knows prices, it's a bank guy.
Problem with Zach is he's on the short stack right now. Probably doesn't feel like he can really afford to make a call for $36,000 when he's got under $250,000 in chips. He does lay it down. So 2 players left, and they're the most experienced players by a mile at this final table. David the Dragon Pham with 2 sevens. Lee Markholt with the king-jack.
Here comes the first 3.
Oh, a nice flop for Lee Markholt. He's flopped top pair as it comes jack-9, 4, all different suits.
And Zach Hyman's got to be sick to his stomach here to flop jacks and 9s. Lee has checked it.
And the Dragon checks the 2 sevens right behind him.
Good check there.
Wow, what a check. Now the deuce of clubs comes off. And let's see what Lee's going to do now. You got to feel like your 2 jacks are the best hand. Just going to put him on 2 big cards or an under pair in this situation. But you're always fearful that someone like the Dragon could be laying in the weeds, checking a strong hand, just looking to come over the top of you if you make a move on 4th Street. But Lee's going to find out. He bets $130,000 here with the 2 jacks. And I'll tell you, this is going to put the Dragon to the test here, and I mean a big test. Part of the problem when you don't make the continuation bet on the flop, when your opponent bets on the turn, you don't know if he's betting just to make some kind of move at this pot, whether he has a hand or not, whether your 2 sevens are good. The Dragon is going to make the call here for the $130,000. He is in dire straits as the cards lie. Going to have to catch a 7 to win the pot.
He's down to a short stack. He's got to strike lucky, but he doesn't get lucky.
Well, 6 at diamonds comes off.
Let's see if Lee will put on some more heat here.
Well, Vince, the Dragon down to only a couple $100,000 in chips, a little over that right now. And Lee probably thinking, well, maybe he made a flush draw on the turn. Maybe he had some type of straight draw and checked on the flop. Lee is going to check here.
I try to get you to bet.
The Dragon wisely checks the 2-7s behind him.
Nice hand, Lee.
I put you on the club draw, actually. Well, I didn't think you had my...
Lee's going to win this pot with 2 jacks. He checked on the river in hopes that David had a flush draw and might bluff at the pot on the river. Definitely he was going to pay him off there, Vince. No doubt about it.
The Dragon's going to stick around. Hope you do too. We're coming back with more action from Reno on the World Poker Tour.
Get stats, videos, and in-depth profiles on all your favorite WPT players.
Only at WPT on GSN.com.
Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge here in beautiful Reno, Nevada. The action is heating up, so let's get back to the felt.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. The World Poker Challenge continues. 5-handed. And the ghost of poker, Lee Marcolt, out in front with $1.6 million in chips.
The 2 guys on the short stack with about $250,000 each are David the Dragon Pham and Zach Hyman.
The dream of the Dragon to take down his first WPT title in danger right now.
Always in danger. When blinds and antes are $45,000 around, you've only got about $250,000 in chips.
Action going to Lee Marcolt. Picked up a pretty attractive ace-jack of hearts. He's going to raise with it.
Yep, makes it $55,000 to go.
I'm all in.
Now, one of those short stacks we were talking about, Zach Hyman, picks up 2 4s and moves all in with them.
Yeah, the bank guy with his 44 midlife crises. Going to push it all in. The Dragon out. Jason Potter also out.
Wow. Goes around to Brian with King Jack. He lays his hand down as well.
Can you bring 55 in, please?
Marcolt. Got to realize that Zach could be a desperado because he's on the short stack at this final table.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get away from this one, Zach.
Good luck.
You took the 55 in, right?
There's about $350,000 in the pot. Going to cost him another $190,000 to make this call. So getting pretty close to the right pot odds. Whenever you get at least 2-to-1 odds on your money and you have an ace in your hand, you can justify calling. But what Lee has going for him is he's the nice chip leader. Even if he plays this pot and loses it, he'll still be the chip leader. Do you want to gamble with an ace-jack against a pretty solid player?
He would love to bust out the banker.
I call it.
Got a pair?
He's going to gamble here, Vance. Considering his chip count and the way he's been running.
Let me win a race. Let me win a race.
We've got the 2 overcards versus the under pair, but part of the problem for Lee here is David the Dragon Pham folded an ace, and both Jason and Brian folded a jack. So a lot of the cards he needs to catch to win have been folded, 3 of them. That puts the odds much more in the favor of Zach Hyman to double up here, Vince. Yeah. But he must do so to stay alive.
He's got his little pair of 4s. He's got his brother in the audience rooting him on.
Put an ace up there.
Here's the flop.
I play bad. I can't hit free rolls.
Well, it's come 7, 8, 10.
Extra outs.
This gives Lee a straight draw. 9 would give him a straight. He needs an ace or a jack to take the lead.
9 ball.
Now, if the board paired twice with 2 different cards, he would also win the pot. 2 pair with an ace kicker.
Bankman holding on, and he gets a heart there. He's 4 flush as well.
So there's a flush draw, a straight draw, and 2 overcards. Zach, you can see the worried look on his face.
Never easy, baby.
Nervously awaiting the river card here.
It is dodgeball time in Reno.
Never easy, Zach. You should know that.
What is it right now? 50-50?
The ghost with a chance to bust the Bankman. It's all coming down to the river. Here it is.
Piece of clubs, please.
The Queen of Diamonds comes off. And there you go. The banker getting pretty excited here over high-fiving his friends. Most bankers, you think, a very conservative guy sitting at the desk. Not this guy. When you double up and stay alive at a final table, you gotta love it.
He's gonna do it. Well done.
Sick hold there, Zach. It looked like he was on the favorite on the turn.
You dodged some bullets.
I did.
And his buddies and brother are toasting him. And as he moves up in chip count, David the Dragon Pham now on the short stack at this final table. Well, he's not going to get any sympathy from these guys, Vince. They're looking to puff the Dragon right out of here. Who incredibly finished 3rd in this very tournament 1 year ago, back at the final table again tonight.
It's going to be on the Dragon. The Dragon looks down at a 9-8. You want to get fancy.
He is going to raise in first position with a 9-8 offsuit on the short stack. Makes it $57,000 to go.
Next to play Jason Potter, who has 7-3 of clubs.
That goes back into think mode here. Wonder if he comes over the top of the Dragon and get away from that hand. Doesn't think so, so he lays it down. Brian Devonshire has picked up 2 bullets.
Oh, boy.
He's got the best hand possible, 2 aces.
Boy, the grand poobah of all poker hands.
I'm all in.
He's going all in here for well over $500,000.
I'm not going to play it tricky. Now Lee quickly folding.
I was surprised by the size of that raise.
Zach Hyman also out, back on the Dragon.
The question is, will the Dragon feel pot committed now? He's got less than 200,000, Vince. Will he want to gamble here for his money? That's the question. There's a lot of money in that pot. But nope, he's going to lay it down.
Yeah, you got to let that go.
So Brian Devonshire picking up that pot with the 2 bullets. He shows them to everybody. He was hoping, because the last time he moved all in on the Dragon called him, hoping the Dragon was thinking he was making a move right there, but got no further action.
Well, he's a happy guy, self-proclaimed nature guy. Loves to camp out, the healthy lifestyle. Not a whole lot of poker games by the campfire, though, I have to say. A lot of wind out there. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. If I walk around the set barefoot, I mean, don't get mad at me. My artistic talents are kind of just a piece of my personality. Like I'm an artist and I do music. I'm just kind of your general hippie.
Vince, I'm still not crazy about the all-in bet there. I'd have preferred a much smaller raise, something like 100,000 rather than $500,000.
I have to agree with you there. I think you overbet it. Sometimes you got to massage the neck a little bit.
When you get those premium hands like ace or kings, you want to get action with them. They beat him, they beat him.
Back to this hand, Zach Hyman has picked up the vice president's pair of kings here.
Speaking of aces and kings, Zach has 2 kings. He's going to raise it here, makes it 60,000 to go.
Into the Dragon.
Well, the Dragon got cued a moment ago with the 9-8 offsuit. That didn't work. Here he has the Jack-7 of diamonds. But he lays it down.
And now it's around to Jason Potter in the small blind. He's got Queen-9 of spades.
Notice Jason's gone to the reverse think position, Vince. And now it's the double think position. I mean, the guy's got everything when it comes to thinking. He's got the left-hand think, the right-hand think, and as you can see now, the 2-hand think. Jason's got about twice as many chips as Zach. It'll cost him another 50,000 to make the call.
And Zach is just, he's a banker, and he's just saying, I need your money. Jason, put it in for me, please. I can taste it. And did Zach just wink at somebody, or is that a twitch because he has kings?
Jason looks like he's getting out raising chips. Wow. Jason Potter coming over the top. He's raising it. Looks like 171,000 he's betting here.
That could be a big misstep. Brian going out.
Fist shove, all in.
And there, Zach says all in with his kings.
Well, he doesn't even hesitate, and Jason is not going to like hearing that, I can tell you.
Up from the hands for Jason. That'll perk him up.
Well, he's going to lay down the Queen-9. I was wishing he'd just called that 50,000 and seen a flop, but Vince, we haven't seen this guy call a bet yet tonight. Doesn't matter his cards. If he plays the pot, he raises it or he comes over the top of somebody. In the meantime, Zach Hyman, the banker, piling up the cash here, Vince.
And Jason Potter, the bold player, getting bruised right there. Zach taking the pot. Stay with this. 5 players remain. Find out who will be stuffing their saddlebag with the cash here on the World Poker Tour. We're coming right back.
I go to the WPT website and track the tournaments and look at the online videos. And my favorite member of your staff has to be Kimberly Lansing, and I'm a huge fan of hers.
Chip Zachary Hyman has made our final table.
You guys did very well with that hire.
Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge. I'm Layla Cayley, and earlier on, I managed to catch Zach Hyman's identical twin brother, Matthew. Here's what he had to say. Well, let me ask something. A lot of people say identical twins, they're really close emotionally. Like, you guys feel each other's pain. Do you feel like his whole excitement right now?
It's crazy. It's hard to be on the rail back there.
And what will that mean to him if he wins at WPT final table?
It will be phenomenal. It's one of the benchmarks of life. Like, I want to make a WPT final table.
Right.
And so Zach's made it. I'm really proud of him.
All right,
So,
fantastic. Well,
cool.
thank you so much. It was nice having you. Thank you.
Thanks, Layla. Our current chip leader is Lee Markholt. In second place, the youngster Jason Potter. And in third place right now, Zach Hyman moved up from the short stack. Brian Devonshire in fourth place with 667. And on the extreme short stack right now is David the Dragon Fam. And Vince, if something good doesn't happen to him soon, his fire is going to be out.
All right, back down to the table of gamble. It's going to be on Jason Potter with an ace-deuce. He's going to raise it. Makes it 55,000 to go. His buddy, Brian Devonshire, quickly folding, and now it's around to the ghost of the table, Lee Marcolt. He's got a queen-jack.
Lee in position on the button. He is the chip leader.
Former bull rider.
Lee's going to make the call here. Over to Zach Hyman. Now Zach looks down at a 9-6 of clubs.
He's in the small blind.
Zach opts to lay it down. The dragon goes out as well. So here we go. It's the youngest player versus the oldest, and the two chip leaders going at it here. Well, flop comes ace, king, deuce. What a flop for Jason Potter. He's flopped top and bottom pair.
And he is first to act. Aces and deuces. Show tunes going off in your head.
Well, you'd never know it looking at him, Vince.
No, good poker face.
Looks very sad right now. He's back in his think position. Jason still never looks up at his opponents, always looks down. Always seems very serious.
Well, he raised before the flop. Now, what do? You try to trap here with a check?
Well, he is not checking. He's going to bet here. Looks like 99,000.
Into Lee.
Doesn't want to pay for the gut shot straight draw. Lays it down.
Hi, JP.
So Jason Potter going to take down the pot.
And I bet he's thinking I should have checked right about now. Try to rope him in, but that's the gamble you take sometimes. Let's take a look at the Wonder Cam and see if he just sucked out there.
Oh,
not on the turn of 4 hearts and the river card 6 of hearts, so Jason should have checked.
He's not a checker, Vince. He's not a caller either. Haven't seen him make one call tonight. Either raises the pot, re-raises it, or gets out. Always putting the pressure on you.
And he's still remaining at 3,000. Blinds are 10 and 20,000. $500,000 at stake here tonight for our champion. Zach Hyman, the banker, ace-10 of clubs.
The 31-year-old with a twin brother who's watching him tonight. Going to raise it here. Comes in for 70,000 with the ace-10 of clubs.
Dragon takes a little breather, and now Jason Potter looks down at a pair of 8s.
In his mind, I'm sure he's up against the most conservative player at the table in Zach Hyman, so let's see how he plays him. Call out the marching band for the first time tonight. Jason Potter going to call a bet at this final table.
Yep, Brian Devonshire going out. And now Lee Marcolt with a queen 7. The computer hand, he goes away.
So two-way action here. Zach has the ace-10 of clubs. Jason has the 2 8s. Here comes the flop. Jack 9-7. Both players have flopped a gut shot straight draw. Jason out in front with the 2 8s. Zach checks, and amazingly, Jason checks right behind him.
Okay, going to the turn. Deuce of spades helps neither player. Right back on Zach.
Well, Zach says, look, this guy's a very aggressive player. He didn't bet on the flop. Maybe he doesn't have anything. I'm going to try to steal it right here with a $120,000 bet. And now let's see what Jason's going to do with the 2 8s. But he's going to make the call. So that's the second call he's made in this hand. He's out in front right now with the 2 8s. Here comes the river card. Oh, and an 8 comes off.
Oh,
this gives Jason 3 8s, but it gives Zach a straight. But because there's 3 spades on the board, Zach is checked. He made the straight on the river, but he's afraid of the flush.
Jason getting some chips out. Zach Hyman is playing with his chips like, I'm going to call you, so don't bet. He's trying to discourage a bet here.
Well, Jason is not trying to steal this pot, folks. He's making what we call a value bet. He really believes the way this hand is played, his 3 8s are the best hand, so he's going to bet him here. Little does he know he is beat by a straight.
She called me with the flush draw.
The banker thinks that Jason had a flush draw, and he caught it.
120 for a spade.
Well, he knows Jason called a bet on the turn when the second spade come off. So, yes, he's fearful his opponent has a flush, but if he's got it, he's got it. He's made the call with the straight. He's going to win the pot.
Yes!
Notice Jason confidently turns up to 3 8s, but they are not good. The banker over high-fiving his fans. He is excited, Vince.
Am I supposed to check the river?
Yeah, it looks like a good value bet.
I thought for sure I was good. I mean,
Jason just talking to himself.
Nice in.
Thank you.
so gross. Like, what a nasty river card.
That's sick.
I mean, it's the only card in the deck.
Well, Vince, you can't blame him. He called twice and then bet on the river when the other guy had the best hand. Made 3 strikes in the same hand, and it cost him.
The banker, Zach Hyman, depositing some chips into his corner. We're coming back for more action here on the World Poker Tour.
I think I represent the online poker players, honestly. You know, the online community sort of has a bit of a disdain for the live players and the way that they play. And
this ain't the internet, son. They wouldn't fold the aces there on the internet either.
There's a bit of a rivalry going on, and, I'd like to take another one down for the online group.
Welcome back to Reno, Nevada, where the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino, where one of these remaining players is saddling up to win nearly $500,000 and become the next World Poker Challenge champion.
And, Mike, which one of these here Cal Poker is going to take home the gold here in the Wild Wild West? Let's check the chip count. Get back to the table.
Vince, David the Dragon Pham, who's on his 6th WPT final table tonight, on the short stack right now with less than 200,000 in chips. Can't get through 2 rounds without being out of chips. He's going to have to play a pot soon.
And the antes and blinds are going up. The blinds, 15 and 30,000. Lee Marcolt, our chip leader, out in front with about 1.2 million with a queen jack this time. Going to plunge away, making it at 80,000 to go.
Over to Zach Hyman, who was once in 6th position, now is in a strong 2nd place. Lays this hand down. The Dragon goes out as well.
And Jason Potter folds.
And Brian Devonshire quickly folds a 9-8 of hearts. The suited connectors, surprised by that, Vince. Only cost him 50,000 more to take a flop. 145,000 out there.
But he is a kind of a nature guy. Doesn't want to take too much risk out here.
It's hard to believe, though. The guy used to be a whitewater rafting guy, so he's taking his share of risks in his life.
That's right.
I'm sure, but
you're missing your fix.
Didn't want to hit any white water on the green felt.
Twice a day,
right?
Lee taking that pot. Now it's on Zach Hyman in this hand. Zach, as we said before, a CEO in the bank business, quickly folds a jack 5.
Oh, and frustration setting in for the Dragon. He's just looking for anything he can get his money in there with. Here he picks up a 3 deuce, has to lay it down.
Jason Potter, who loves to play hands. He's the poker bully at this table. He's going to fold a little suited connector. 5-6 of hearts.
That's around to Brian Devonshire. He's going to raise it here with a king 9.
There you go.
Well, he understands the king high is a favorite over a random big blind hand. And what a favorite it is as Lee Marcolt looks down at king 8. Brian has him dominated. That domination will evaporate in case Lee decides to come over the top of him here.
It's 9 in total, right?
But Lee is just opting to make the call. Lee has about twice as many chips as Brian. Wants to see a flop here. So Brian with king 9, Lee with king 8. Here's the flop. Oh, it's come 10-9-9 with 2 clubs. Brian Devonshire has flopped 3 9s.
Just a thing of beauty. He's first to act.
Will he make the continuation bet? Or will he check to try to trap Lee? Well, he is going to make the continuation bet, Vince. He is just hoping that Lee makes some kind of play here as he bets 125,000. What Lee's thinking about, is he just making a continuation bet with something like an ace-5? Does he really have a hand here? Would he lay it down if I come over the top of him? Lee Marcolt was a former bull rider, and if he makes a play like that, Vince, he's going to get bucked off again, I can tell you.
It would make the nature boy quite happy. But no.
Well, Lee does make the wise choice and lays this hand down.
Once again, these guys are betting when they hit hands. No trapping going on here.
Well, there's the case. I think Brian made a good continuation bet. I say that not because he just flopped the 3 9s, because there were 2 clubs out there. Lee might have made a move with any kind of possible straight draw.
You like that move?
I like the move there. Yes, I do.
Let's get back to the table. It's going to be on Jason Potter from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Online professional, 22 years old. The former bully at the table. He'll bet on almost anything. This time, Jack 6 of spades. Caps his cards here.
Once again, back to the think position. And that's for a young 22-year-old making his first WPT final table. He just doesn't look like he's full of joy right now.
Well, he's a poker face there. He's a great poker face. Now, he's made it 85,000 to go. Nature Boy has gone out. And now Lee Marcolt, he's got a king-queen in his hands.
He's also got the chip lead. He's in position. I noticed Jason looking back at his cards here. Guarantee you, Lee did not miss that. You don't look back at your hand if you got a real strong hand most of the time.
If you have it like further out, like right here.
The old bull rider doesn't miss many tricks here, Vince. Sure, he picked up on all that kind of body motion. He's going to make the call here. Wants to see a flop with the king-queen.
Zach going out, and the Dragon now with just a 10-8. He can't get any good cards.
Well, Vince, he doesn't have many chips left. He's getting a real good price to make this call. You know, the idea of tripling up is very enticing. On the other hand, these two guys clashing a big pot. One of them could knock the other out, and you can move up a spot in the prize money. The Dragon, I don't think, really caring about moving up right now. He's just looking to get a hold of some chips, but opts to lay it down. Just not going to gamble yet. So once again, a pot between the youngest player at the table and the oldest. Here comes a flop. Let's come king, 7 deuce with 2 diamonds. Great flop for Lee Markholt. Action is on the youngster. And Jason checks here, Vince. Doesn't make the continuation bet. Well, there you can see a puzzled look in Lee Markholt's face, wondering why not. Now, this is an aggressive player. This kind of flop is like an automatic continuation bet. And I say that because you're not going to put Lee with a 7 or a deuce in his hand when he called a raise. You normally test the water to see if a guy's got a king by betting out, but he didn't do it. So Lee wondering why not. Is he trying to trap me? Did he flop 3 sevens? I'm going to find out because I'm going to bet $160,000.
Yep, he's going to find out where he is.
Well, the youngster perhaps contemplating what a check raise would do to Lee here.
Well, you thought he looked sad before. Now he's looking extremely sad after that result.
Lee's killing it.
Oh, Vance, and look at Jason now. He looks like a kid that just got to Disneyland and sees the lines are blocks long on every ride.
Lee Markholt, could he be on his way to his first WPT title? We're coming back for more action in just a moment here on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge here at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. I'm Layla Cayley, and here's a recap of the race to the nearly $500,000 first place prize. Check it out. The battle in Reno got off to a quick start when a spry young amateur took a knockout punch by veteran pro Lee Markholt.
The green bubble burst for Jeff DeWitt right there.
David the Dragon Fam's 6th WPT final table has proven to be a tough one as he battled against a banker, a bull rider,
Deuce of clubs.
wow, and 2 internet sensations. They're all trying to dodge bullets in Reno.
Who's excited?
But with the title, the cash, and the glory on the line, there can only be one sheriff in this town.
Lee Markholt, the former bull rider, out in front, $1.3 million. He is our chip leader.
And on the short stack right now, David the Dragon Fam with just $153,000. And the Dragon has got to make a move soon, Vince.
Well, the Dragon would love to pick up some scraps. Nothing happening so far tonight. Let's go to the table. Brian Devonshire quickly folds his hand, as does Lee, our chip leader.
Zach Hyman now. He looks down at the Highway Patrol hand, the 10-4. He mucks it.
David Pham in the small blind with a queen jack.
I'm going in.
It's Dragon time. He has gone all in.
Yeah, you have to go all in with this hand in this position. And Jason just has a 4 deuce, slams him on the table.
Calling him so ridiculously light.
Not happy not to find anything there, but the Dragon happy to pick up a set of blinds and antes here.
Yeah,
King
finally gets to win a little pot.
Well, we saw David Pham finish second earlier this season to Dan Harrington at the Legends of Poker. 6th time he's been in the final table, has yet to win a title.
Well, you know what's interesting? The Dragon actually got his nickname because years ago he was sitting at the poker table and he was winning all kinds of hands. And this player from across the table said, "You are so hot. You are winning all kinds of hands. You're breathing fire like Dragon." And the nickname stuck.
Well, I think the Dragon is one of the greatest nicknames in the poker world. It certainly bode well for David Pham because he has over $7 million in tournament winnings.
Pretty impressive. Okay, back to the table. On the chip leader, Lee Markholt to act with ace-10. Going to pop it up to $80,000 to go.
And right behind him, Zach Hyman has picked up an ace-queen. Has Lee dominated? He's going to make the call. Oh, and look at this, Vince. The Dragon has picked up the 2 snowmen, the pair of 8s.
Oh, wow. Solid mid-pair with the button.
Well, the Dragon's got less than 200,000 in chips. Going to cost him 80,000 to make the call. So you just wonder if he plays the pot, which you think surely he has to do with 2/8 with his chip count. Will he move all in, or will he just call here to see a flop first, just in case the flop comes something like ace, king, queen, or ace, king, jack, where he can get away from 2/8?
He knows because of his chip stack, of course, he would be called before the flop. So a couple of different ways to play this.
Yeah, many players will just send it to the middle right now, but the Dragon is just going to make the call.
Jason Potter going out.
Now around to the big blind, and Brian Devonshire looks down into king, queen. Over 300,000 in the pot right now. Going to cost him 50,000 more to make the call, so he's got to call with king, queen, I think. And he does make the call, so four-way action here.
You guys can all get it all in if you want.
4 out of 5. Big-time gambling going on. Here we go with the flop.
Oh, it's come 8-7-5. The Dragon has flopped the top set. Action's on Brian, who quickly checks. Lee quickly checks.
I checked to David.
Zach has also checked, and the Dragon,
I'm going in.
very confident, very happy, says, I'm all in.
Yep, he's going to push it. Doesn't want anyone outdrawing him. And a quick fold by Brian Devonshire, but
I knew you called it with a medium pair.
A lot of talking here.
It's a good flop for you, David.
Wow, well, he hit the nail on the head, Vince, but he shouldn't be saying anything, just not proper protocol to be talking about a hand when there's still a player in the pot sitting behind you who hasn't yet acted.
I got to fold.
And finally, he's going to fold his hand.
And now you wonder what Zach is going to do. As the cards lie, Zach drawn completely dead. He could split it if 2 straight cards come up. Still a lot of money out there.
Thinking if this guy's on the come, doesn't have a hand, and even if he has a piece of it.
Well, almost $500,000 in the pot now. It's going to cost him another $115,000 to make the call.
I can't call either.
Little doesn't know how strong he is.
So I'm going to lay it down, and the Dragon very happy to pick up that nearly $500,000 pot.
2-4. We're racing. I mean, I have outs.
That's what makes David so good. He flops perfect for his range. We're getting like 4.5 to 1, and none of us nits can call.
The Dragon very happy.
That's why I'm the Dragon.
He's got some chips now. Stay with us. We're coming back with more action as 5 players remain, going after close to $500,000 when we come back on the World Poker Tour.
Oh, Edward, no, please don't come in. I know this must be difficult for you, and it's really not your fault. But I've met Troy now, and intellectually, he's more on my plane.
You got a plane? Bad poker face. Doesn't matter when you play online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
Twin engine?
Welcome back to the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino, where one player is about to win nearly $500,000. Let's not waste any more time and get back to the action.
Welcome back to Reno in the World Poker Challenge. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten. We've got 5 players left.
And Lee Marcolt, he is out in front. He's got about $1.2 million in chips.
Zach Hyman in second place with about $1 million in chips. The other 3 players sitting close to $500,000.
We are coming from the beautiful Grand Sierra Resort and Casino in Reno. Let's go to the table. It's going to be on the Dragon, David Pham.
Oh, this place is really beautiful to him as he finished 3rd in this tournament last year. Back at the final table yet again. He folds here.
Yes, he does. Jason Potter going to fold the suited connector. 6-7 of clubs.
Brian Devonshire on the button with a king jack of diamonds.
You love laughing and raising.
I do love that. I love laughing in general. I mean, it's more fun.
See, the nature guy says, I love laughing in general. I believe it. He has a great attitude at the table. He's going to stick it out there with a king jack of diamonds.
Makes it $77,000 to go. But right behind him, the chip leader picks up an ace-queen. Vince, if he decides to come over the top with this ace-queen, I don't think Brian's going to be laughing much, at least in this hand. Lee taking his time here. You always suspect a guy raising on the button is just making a move to pick up the blinds and antes.
I raise it.
He says raise here.
And a healthy raise it is. He's betting $185,000 more.
Zach Hyman quickly folding, and Brian Devonshire has had enough. He lays down his hand.
And the smile goes off Brian's face. He goes back to popping that gum. So Lee Marcolt making the nice over-the-top raise there with the ace-queen to take down the pot.
I don't think anybody's any hungrier than I am, and I'm going to win this tournament.
Lee, I've said, is probably the most underrated poker player on the circuit. He knows exactly when to apply pressure. He knows exactly when to back off.
The guy's a high-stakes cash game live pro, and he's already told me that he's got a sick read on me, and based on the way he's played against me, he just owns me.
I've been a cash game player for many years, and that's always been my strength. Reading other players and knowing where I'm at in a hand. I'm so confident, and I'm playing great, and, you know, I feel I'm going to win it.
Lee, 44 years old, but surprisingly a grandfather already.
I'm just surprised all the joints move so well for him. Guy was a bull rider for 10 years. Those guys are generally busted up pretty good after 10 years of that career.
Yeah. Let's go back down to the table. Brian quickly folding his hand. Now Lee Markholt, our chip leader, with an ace-9. He'd like to take home his first WPT title here tonight, and he's going to raise.
Well, won the last pot with an ace-queen. Here he's going to raise it with an ace-9 offsuit. Makes it $85,000 to go.
Zach with a queen-jack of hearts.
Now Zach has close to $1 million in chips.
3 in a row.
He's in position on the button. Likes this hand, wants to see a flop, so he's going to make the call here.
Now Dragon peeks down at an ace-4 diamonds.
Well, you know, the Dragon would love to see a flop here himself. His problem is he's only got about 400,000 in chips, and 85,000 is a good chunk of them. He doesn't think he can afford to make the call. He lays his hand down.
I'm all in.
Unbelievable. Jason Potter, with just 2 deuces, is going over the top all in.
I knew the squeeze play was coming.
How could it not?
Yep, and that looks like an additional 473,000, and that's enough to play bully ball there.
Well, Lee Markholt sitting back.
Squeezy, squeezy.
My hand's not quite as good as the last one.
He understands that Jason could be making a play here, that this play is easier to make when a guy calls in middle position here, because once one guy raises the pot, the second guy doesn't raise it. You know he's not that strong.
But it is a pretty big raise, 473 in addition, and Lee is going to fold it, as well as Zach Hyman.
He made that raise into the 2 chip leaders. He knows they can't stand a $500,000 re-raise, perhaps. And then he shows them the deuce, Vince. He rubs their noses right in the dirt. And I'll tell you, when you put an old bull rider's nose in the dirt, he doesn't like it, Vince. Does that mean he hadn't lasted the 8 seconds?
I had 2 of them.
Jason Potter, the official bully boy at the table, doing his tricks once again.
Well, I think he analyzed that situation perfectly. Made a great all-in bet there to take down that pot.
Well, he is aggressive, but you know what's very impressive about him is that he is an online player. He plays in front of a computer, but he is holding his own as well as anyone. He's a talented young guy.
Well, is he ever? It's his first WPT event. He came to this final table as chip leader, so certainly the guy's got some game.
All right, to the table, Zach Hyman quickly folding an ace-9. Dragon also going out.
Now it's around to Jason. He looks down at the Jack-4 offsuit and folds, so it's a battle of the blinds. And Brian looks down and finds ace-queen.
Not again.
Now that's a big hand in the blind position. And he is going to raise it, makes it 90,000 to go.
Only one to beat is our chip leader, Lee. And he's got an attractive king-9 of clubs.
Now, Vince, Lee Markholt's the kind of poker player that believes in playing in position. Meaning you like to call and play pots when you're last to act after the flop. That would be the case here if he opts to play the king-9 of clubs, and he does. He makes the call.
So these two are at it once again. Nature guy up against the ghost of poker. Here's our flop.
Oh, it's come 6-3 deuce with 2 clubs. Well, action's on Brian. And Vince, he's not going to presume that Lee had small cards like these. So he's bet 125,000 here in hopes that Lee had something like Jack-10 suited, King-Jack, something like that.
His little cards didn't connect, but his 4 flush did.
Well, you're right, Vince. Let's see how he's going to play it. Looks like Lee's getting out some raising chips. And indeed he is, Vince. Just going to set the guy pretty close to all in here. He's going to raise it over 200,000 more.
And Brian feigning like he's considering this.
And he's wearing that gum out now, Vince.
Why can't you just jam it pre-flop?
And that's about the angriest thing he said all night.
Well, Vince, he does have the ace of clubs. But still, they can't stand that kind of heat of the re-raise. He lays his hand down. So Lee Markholt widening his chip lead after coming over the top there.
All right, David, teach me how to quadruple up without a showdown.
He's my favorite player. That's why I told you.
Our chip leader stamps out the Nature Guys campfire right there, extends his chip lead. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action here at the World Poker Challenge.
You're watching the best poker on television right here on the World Poker Tour.
Have you got what it takes to become a WPT champion?
Find out at WPT on GSN.com. Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge in Reno, Nevada. We've got potential rich people at the table, and we are talking big-time poker. Lee Marcoll going after close to $500,000. Wants to take down his first WPT title. He's got $1.5 million in chips.
Well, nearly twice as many chips as Zach Hyman, who's in second place with just over $800,000 in chips.
The secret will be out, and then I will be screwed.
So Lee widening his chip lead, playing very well so far tonight.
To the table, Jason Potter quickly folding. Online pro Brian Devonshire also going out.
It's up to Lee now. He's on the button in position. Only has a 6-5 offsuit, but the old bull rider trying to bully the table around right now. Going to raise it here, makes it $85,000 to go.
Zach right behind him with an awful-looking 10-4 offsuit.
All he can be thinking about is folding or coming over the top. He does lay it down. Around to the dragon in the big blind, and look at this, Vince. The dragon has picked up an ace-jack. And against some players, you wouldn't want to play an ace-jack, but against aggressive players on the button, you don't mind playing it at all. Let's see what the dragon's going to do here. Can't imagine he'll lay it down, so the question is he going to call it, or is he going to raise with it?
Morning.
Well, the dragon's going all in here, and quickly Lee's going all out. So David, the Dragon fam, who was on the extreme short stack just a while ago, is moving in the right direction now, Vince. Could he possibly capture his first WPT title tonight in his sixth final table appearance? Earlier this season, remember, Phil Ivey made it to the WPT final table for the 8th time and finally took down his first title. The Dragon looking to do it in 6. His WPT earnings over $1.7 million, and that's without a win.
Well, he's a great player. His timing tonight has been impeccable. All right, action quickly goes to Zach. He quickly folds. Dragon going away. Jason Potter now with a king-8.
Well, lays it down on the button.
He has changed gears.
I'm all in.
And now Brian Devonshire says all in with the Motown hand, Jackson 5.
Well, Vince, not a very good hand to move all in.
He's going to try to push around.
Can you tell me how much it is, please?
The big blind here, Lee Marcoll, who has an ace-8.
Well, Vince, there's a lot of hands where Lee could have the best hand where this guy move all in.
Well, look at this. Lee has called it.
Wow, he found an ace.
And as the cards lie, he's well out in front with the ace-8 right now. Brian just making a move with a jack-5.
Time to suck out.
Now the question is, can Lee reel him in?
Oh, boy, Brian Devonshire making his move. He's the nature guy, but right now, punished all night long against Lee, and it looks like it could happen once again.
Will the outdoor man be heading back to the woods? Got to get lucky and win this pot to stay alive. Let's see if he can do it.
Just one.
Well, it's come 5-4-3. So Brian has taken the lead with 2 5s.
Yep, he has outflopped him.
Lee Marcoll now needs an ace, an 8, or a deuce to take the lead.
The player has a diamond. There's 3 diamonds out there.
5!
He does have a straight draw.
Deuce of clubs.
No! Don't turn me dead. At least make it a sweat.
Deuce of clubs.
Well, all of a sudden, Brian's happy again, and why not? He's got the lead right now. Well, the 9 of diamonds comes off. Now there's 4 diamonds out there. Means if a diamond comes up on the river, this would be a split pot. Both players would have a flush. The only way Lee Marcoll can win this pot is if he catches an ace, an 8, or a deuce. That's not a diamond.
Brick.
River card coming up.
Right now, Brian out in front with the 2 5s. Can he hold off his man? It's a 4. So Brian Devonshire getting very lucky there. Outdrawing Lee Marcoll to stay alive.
Yes, and he swaggers back to the table. Renewed man, Brian Devonshire.
And Lee Marcoll
6 BBs, I mean.
made the nice call before the flop with the ace-8 offsuit, but wasn't rewarded for his good play.
Brian Devonshire taking that pot. He's going to stay here. 5 players remain going after big bucks. We're coming back for more action in just a few moments here on the World Poker Tour.
I said a month ago I was going to make this final table, and I said a week ago I was going to win it.
There you go. Yeah! Wow. Thank you for one time!
It's looking so far so good.
Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge. We're at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino in Reno, Nevada. 5 players remain.
Our chip leader is a former bull rider, longtime poker pro Lee Markholt. He's got just over 1.2 million in chips. In second place, Zach Hyman with 888,000. Jason Potter, the youngster at the table, in third place with 740. David, the Dragon Fam, in fourth place with over 600,000. And the short stack right now, Brian Devonshire, but he just doubled up, Vince, so he's feeling good.
That's true, Mike. Very true.
All right, to the table we go. David, the Dragon Fam, in first position. He's got an ace-deuce, and he looks interested.
Well, he is reaching for chips here, Vince. And he's going to put the raisy on it. Makes it 86,000 to go.
And now Jason Potter with a suited connector, 9-10 of spades. He used to be the bully at the table.
Wow.
Changing gears, folds.
Well, Vince, he said 10-9 suited was his favorite hand, but he mucked that one.
Brian also out. It's around to our chip leader, Lee Markholt. And look at this. He's got ace-10 of hearts.
What is it? As the cards lie, he's got the Dragon dominated here. But still, is it the kind of hand you want to get involved with when a guy raises under the gun? Lee's going to be out of position after the flop. He'll be the first to act.
I really thought you guys were going to chop that.
Well, Lee's going to make the call here. Wants to see a flop with the ace-10 of hearts.
Doesn't come over the top. Zach Hyman also with an ace-deuce here. Wants no part of it. Folds it.
So once again, the 2 most experienced players at the table, David the Dragon Fam and Lee Markholt, going at it. Oh, the flop has come ace, queen, 7 with 1 heart.
Both make aces, and Lee is going to check it. Try to trap here, perhaps.
Well, Vince, I think the trap is going to work. I just don't see how the Dragon's going to get away from 2 aces here. Sure, he thinks he's got the best hand. He's flopped top pair here.
He is going to come out with a bet, 131,000.
Well, now it's around to Lee Markholt. Now let's see what he's going to do. He's flopped top pair. Also has a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw.
You got like 4 left, David?
Close, close.
Just wondering if there's any way the Dragon could have ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack. All those hands would, of course, beat him. But still, if you call a raise before the flop with the ace-10 of hearts and it comes ace-queen, 7 with 1 heart out there, hard to believe you're not going to go with it, especially against the short stack.
All in.
Well, there you go. He's come over the top and gone all in.
Yeah, he's trapped the Dragon.
And now the real test is going to be on the Dragon. Does he want to put his last 400,000 in here with an ace-deuce?
You got to play queen flush draw?
He says if you got queens and a flush draw, which would be a big hand, but...
You wish, Dragon. It's much worse than that.
Well, the Dragon's just not going to put him on ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, figuring he'd re-raise him before the flop. That didn't happen.
He's 6 times at the WPT final table, never taken a title. This is his chance here, Mike.
Well, Vince, he's fought all night long on a short stack, built his chips up. He knows if he wins this pot, he could have well over 1.2 million in chips.
King jack, a diamond.
Probably thinks the 2 aces are the best hand here, Vince.
Oh, I really put you in the draw. I call.
Oh, wow. He has called it, and it's a bad one.
Well, he's in bad shape right now, as you pointed out, Vince. Now he could get a split pot if a 7 comes up. They would both have aces and 7s with the queen kicker. If a queen comes off, he could escape. If a king, a jack, or a 10, or an ace or a queen came off, he needs a deuce to take the lead, but right now, the Dragon's fire is about to be put out, perhaps.
6 times at the final table on the WPT. Has yet to take a title.
Well, the Dragon needs a deuce to take the lead here.
10 one time.
Here comes the turn card, and it's a 10.
Well, he asked for a 10 one time, and there it is. Lee Markholt at ace and 10s. It's not over yet, though. If a queen comes off, they would split this pot. Both players would have aces and queens and a 10 kicker. The Dragon shakes his hand, though. He knows things are looking pretty slim for him.
He's got outs to get a tie. That's about it. Can he get a queen?
Oh, a deuce comes off. He does make aces and deuces. It's not good enough.
Too late.
As Lee Markholt has aces and tens. So for the 6th time at a WPT final table, the Dragon is going to walk away without a WPT title. But he fought very hard and diligent tonight, Vince. Just wasn't quite meant to be for the Dragon tonight.
Well, he's always a gentleman. He'll pick up $93,000. And the Dragon right now has been reduced to a mere lizard. 4 players remain at the World Poker Tour World Poker Challenge. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action in just a few moments.
Welcome back to Reno, where we have 4 players left fighting it out for a coveted WPT title that they all would cherish, as well as nearly $500,000 first place prize.
Yeah, we're down to 4 players. The Dragon has been slayed. David Pham, once again, a WPT title denied here for him.
Vince, Lee Markholt takes one step closer to capturing a WPT title. He's made the money more times in Season 6 than any other player with 6 cashes. This is his first WPT final table, and he is looking to take down that WPT title.
Go to the felt. It's going to be on Zach Hyman.
90.
And this time Zach looks at a pair of 9s. Going to raise it, making it 90,000.
Yep, makes it 90,000 to go.
But behind him, Jason Potter here with a pair of 3s.
Come on.
Well, he's going all in here with the 2 3s. We saw him go all in earlier with the 2 deuces where it worked out for him.
I'm all in.
And right behind him, Brian going all in with the ace-queen of clubs here.
Oh, man.
You know, Lee quickly going out, and now we're back to Zach. And Zach has a pair of 9s here.
How much exactly does Brian have? Well, I guess that doesn't matter. I think it does matter because I think his hand's better. So can I get a chip count on Brian?
Now, in this situation, you got to understand what the chip count is. He should see that if he plays this pot, the side pot will about give him all his chips back if he beats Jason in this pot.
You got a sick read on these guys, Jack Deuce and Jack Trey.
When a guy moves all in for nearly $700,000 in this situation, I don't put him on 2 aces, kings, or queens in this spot. He's just not going to make that big a raise if he has that big a hand, in my view. So you really don't worry about the guy that's all in for about half that amount of chips. You have to understand that if you beat the first guy that raises here, you're essentially going to break even in this pot, eliminate a player, and ideally, of course, you could beat them both, knock them both out, and be playing heads up for this title.
What's up, Jeff?
Zach Hyman with the decision of his poker career. He's a so-called amateur player, but he's an excellent poker player. Let's see if he makes the right move here.
I can kiss all that goodbye. Wow. This is a big laydown if I lay this down.
That's when I've been playing poker for 2.5 years. But obviously plays pretty good poker. Let's see if he'll make the call in this situation.
Meantime, Brian Devonshire over to the rail. Gavin Smith chatting it up with him.
I'm going to fold. It's going to be a bad fold, though.
You have a pair, Brian? Oh, he does lay it down. It's the dream scenario for Jason. He's now in a race situation, and he's up against a guy where even if he loses a pot, he can't go broke.
Ace queen.
So in Jason's mind, the right player folded this hand, that's for sure. Now let's see if he can win the race and eliminate Brian from this tournament.
Can we just flip a coin instead?
You want to just chop it now?
He has the ace-queen of clubs. He's up against the 2 3s.
3 of hearts, 10 jack of clubs.
All right, 5 cards to come. A big poker moment. Here we go with a flop.
Well, the flop has come 8-8-6. Jason out in front now with the 8s and 3s. For Brian to take the lead, he's got to catch an ace, a queen, or a 6 would also do it for him.
Throw an 8.
And Zach is just sick. He's not in this pot right now, Vince. He had 2 9s. He'd have them both beat right now.
Shaking his head there. Disappointed with himself.
Vince, I believe he made a tactical error by folding, but let's see what happens. Well, a 10 comes up. So here we go to the river card. And Brian needs an ace, a queen, a 10, or a 6. Those are the 4 cards he must catch to win this pot to stay alive in this tournament. Right now, Jason Potter out in front with 8s and 3s. Will they hold up? It's an ace! Wow! Again, Brian draws out to stay alive in this tournament. He did it a minute ago against Lee Markholt when he had the Jack-5 offsuit. He got lucky and won that pot. Here he spikes an ace on the river to stay alive. Well, Vince, Brian Devonshire has got to be thinking, hey, this might be my night. Wow. What drama here in
As
Reno.
it turns out, you made a good. Well, you don't want a side pot. You'd have broke even in the pot. You'd have broke even in the pot, and he'd be gone.
But I'd say Jason's the one that had destiny on his side there, because had Zach Hyman made that call pre-flop, Jason Potter would be out of this tournament in 4th place.
You're a fast runner, kid.
All right, the antes and blinds are going up. Antes for every player will be 5,000. The blinds are 20 and 40,000.
Brian Devonshire spiking an ace on the river to nearly triple up to stay alive here.
Brian, the former instructor for whitewater rafting, an outdoorsman, making it happen right there. He's quickly folded in this hand.
Well, DeMarco going out as well, so it's a battle of the blinds here. Action's on Zach Hyman. He looks down at a king 5 offsuit.
How much you have? Like right around 200.
So how much he's got? He's going to limp in and make the call.
And Jason Potter with a queen deuce.
Wow, really?
It's a little surprised he wouldn't move all in there with the king high. That figures to be a favored hand over a blind hand, but Jason can't figure it out either, but he's happy to see a flop with a queen deuce offsuit. So here we go.
He's very confused.
The guy says, how much you got?
Put you on.
And then no raise.
Potter looks puzzled.
And the flop comes 10-4-4. No help to either player. They both quickly check. Zach out in front with the king high.
4th Street coming up.
Well, now Zach has made 2 5s. And he checks again.
Yep.
Jason quickly checks right behind him.
Is that what you're going to bet on the river?
Jason says, is that your river bet? I got a feeling it's going to be. Well, the board pairs 10s on the river, and Zach is going to bet. And he's called by a queen high by Jason here. Just doesn't believe he's got a 10 or a 4 or an ace or a king in his hand.
The king was good enough.
He thought he would have bet when the 5 hit on the turn. He didn't.
Yeah, queen high.
So Jason called him with queen high, just didn't think he had much. You know, he knows the guy would have raised before the flop, probably if he had an ace or a king in his hand. He didn't do that. So it did look like he could easily be stealing with something like a 9-8 or a 9-7 in that situation.
See, Zach did a little reversal there, and that kind of confused Potter a little bit more.
Jason Potter goes below the $200,000 chip mark.
And he is obviously frustrated. Came in here as a chip leader. He has been whittled down here tonight. All right, to the table we shall go. Lee quickly folding. And now Zach Hyman with an ace 5 in his hand.
140.
Makes it $140,000 to go. $100,000 raise.
But Jason right behind him with an ace 3. He's going to put all his chips in.
Feel like Jay.
You can't blame him for putting it in here with an ace high, Vince.
Yeah, Brian going out. Back on Zach.
Just say call.
I call.
Okay.
He's called it.
Zach a little bit out in front right now. He's got the ace 5. He's up against the ace 3.
We're going to chop this up.
But about 50% of the time, this is going to be a split pot. Let's see if this is one of those times.
Well, Jason's saying we're going to chop this up. Don't jinx yourself.
I just want to flop a wheel. That way he has a shot.
Jason Potter from Tulsa, Oklahoma, went to Oklahoma State for 3 years, dropped out to be a poker player. Well, the flop comes queen, 8, 4, all spades.
Oh.
You see how excited Zach is over that flop.
Spade. One spade.
He's got the best hand, and drawing at the nut flush, any spade will end this thing right now for Jason Potter.
The dream flop there for Zach Hyman.
Well, an 8 comes off.
Well, we're chopping unless it's
spade.
So any card over a 6 that's not a spade would give him a split pot.
A deuce will do it.
Zach is looking for an ace, a 5, or a spade, or a deuce. That would also do it.
Going down to the river here in Reno.
A spade, there it is. Zach has made the ace high flush. He takes down the pot, and that's going to do it for the 22-year-old pro from Oklahoma. Jason Potter out in 4th place.
Well, a big effort by a great young player. $103,000 Jason Potter will pick up for his efforts. But I got to say, he kind of jinxed himself. He kept saying, we're going to split it, we're going to chop it. Well, he's going to chop it out to the parking lot. That's about it.
Well, you might be right, Vince, but he's young, so you got to forgive him for these kind of predictions.
Yeah, he is body bagged out of here in Reno. We're down to 3 players.
Find out who's going to gallop away with the nearly $500,000 first place prize when the World Poker Challenge returns. Don't go away.
Hello, Mr. Cunningham. Alan, it's a big pot out there, buddy. I'm all in. Don't be scared.
I call.
Only a donkey would make that call.
We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge in Reno. And right now we have a three-way battle going after close to $500,000. It is the former bull rider Lee Markholt out in front with $1.9 million. Zach Hyman, the banking businessman, with about $1 million. Brian Devonshire, the self-proclaimed nature guy, has about $900. Back to the table, it's got to be on Zach.
Zach Hyman looks down at Jack 9 of clubs. Looks like he is going to raise with this hand.
140.
He's going to move it up to $140,000.
I'm all in.
Behind him, Brian with ace-queen says all in.
Well, he moves all in with the ace-queen of hearts here, not fooling around. Says if you can beat this hand, good luck to you. Lee quickly out. Zach quickly out as well.
Yeah, no theatrics by him.
So the 26-year-old pro out of Henderson, Nevada, moves into second chip position after picking up that pot. Brian's been playing poker for 13 years. And Vince, like you, he learned how to play by watching his dad's home game.
Nothing better than that. All kinds of food and goodies hanging around late at night, watching dear old dad go broke. All right, he quickly folds this hand. And now Lee with a king-7 of diamonds.
And he's going to limp in and call out of the small blind.
Check.
And Zach behind him with a queen-8 of spades, also not going to raise.
Zach says, give us a flop. And here it comes. Oh, and it's come king-3 deuce. Great flop for Lee Markholt. He's flopped top pair here. He's got the 2 kings. And he's going to bet, Vince, $40,000, the minimum bet.
Yeah.
And Vince, in truth, Zach is not going to put him on an ace or a king in his hand because he didn't raise before the flop.
Wow.
He's going to call him with just a queen and an 8 here, but
you're right.
That's because Lee did not raise before the flop. And now a queen comes off.
Boy, he could have gotten himself into trouble here.
Well, Zach has now made second pair. Lee Markholt has top pair. He is reaching for more chips to bet. This time he bets $140,000. Well, Zach, who called with absolutely nothing on the flop, now has made a pair of queens. He could be getting himself in big trouble here, Vince. He could be in real serious trouble. He comes over the top right here, but no, he just makes the call. He's trying to figure out what he's got here.
Yep, roping along here. River card coming up.
Now, 10 of spade comes on the river. Lee out in front with the 2 kings. Let's see what he's going to do now. He's reaching for chips, Vince. He said, look, the guy called me on the flop. He called me on the turn. Maybe he'll call me again. And Lee betting $200,000 here. And right now, Zach Hyman, you know, is a little bit sick that he called any bet on the flop at all.
Got a king? I assume so.
He's really going to be sick if he pays this $200,000. And he does make the call. So there you go. Lee Markholt going to take that pot down with 2 kings.
Yes, Hanley.
So Lee just continuing to fire at that pot on the flop, on the turn, on the river, got paid off on every street. And he now widens his chip lead. And that pot put a pretty good dent in Zach Hyman's stack, Vince.
Played that bad.
Just pay that off. You're right back at him. Lee this time. 5 deuce. Elects to fold. And Zach Hyman with king jack of hearts says all in.
I call.
And Brian quickly calls him with a pair of 9s. So here we have the classic race situation, the 2 overcards versus the under pair. And so many times in tournament poker, your tournament life comes down to exactly this situation. And it doesn't matter what side of the coin that you're on, whether you have the pair or the 2 overcards, you have to win these races to stay alive. That's exactly the situation right now for Zach.
Well, you can't blame him for getting all his money in. He's got a nice hand. King jack of hearts.
385 turn. Rebate.
Just run up against a pair of 9s.
Well, Vince, he lost about half his stack in the last pot to Lee Markholt.
Good luck, man. All right, you too.
If he loses this one, he'll be reporting to the rail. And the flop comes queen, queen, 7 with 2 diamonds. Brian still out in front with the 2 9s.
Yeah, those are good paints.
And right now, you know what he's thinking, Vince. I don't want to see any more Picasso. Just keep all the paint off the board, and I'll win this thing.
Not the flop for Zach that he wanted.
And I've got the 9s blocking, too.
4th Street coming up.
Well, the 4 of clubs comes off, so we are down to the river card. And the body language of Zach Hyman says it all. He knows he must catch a king or a jack to stay alive. That's the only 2 cards that will do it for him.
Yeah, otherwise the banking man will have to run back to the ATM. He will be out of here. Here comes the river card. Can he get lucky? No.
It's a 10 of spade. So that's going to do it for the 31-year-old banker from San Francisco, Zach Hyman, out tonight in 3rd place.
$149,000 to go with it. A big effort by Zach Hyman, so-called amateur player. Very impressive here this evening. He's going up to talk to Layla.
Bring on the bricks!
Thanks, guys. Zach, I know you were one of the short stacks going into this, but you were coming back so strong. Yeah. Does it hurt that much more to be so close to victory and then bust out?
It does. I saw my swing coming back and kind of fall apart on that hand with Lee. I made a horrible call on the flop, and I just had to calm him down. So I'm happy I got 3rd place. You know, I made the final table, which was my goal.
As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads-up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money.
So here they come. These are the Wild Wild West girls of Reno, Nevada.
There's our own Kimberly Lansing breaking out the bracelet and the chip set.
Yes, the PT chip set comes in handy when you need to whip up a nice little home game. So it's all on the line. The money, the chips, the bracelet. Who's going to take the title?
This is fun.
Stay tuned. We're coming back with a start in just a moment.
There's a story in every seat on the WPT. Find in-depth coverage on all your favorite players online at WPTonGSN.com.
Welcome back to the World Poker Challenge. I'm Layla Kaylee, and during the break, I managed to catch Lee and Brian, and here's what they had to say about going into heads-up play. Brian, I know you've been having a really fun time during this whole thing, but now it's heads up. You got to get a little serious. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, but I don't have to get serious. I mean, we are still playing a game, even though we're playing for, $500,000.
I like your attitude, man. Do you think that's what got you this far, that you're not so intense and you're actually having a good time?
I think it helps me in a lot of ways. It's more my personality, and I like being myself. And, if I'm not myself, then I'm not going to be having fun. I'm not going to be playing my best. And so, yeah, it's just me.
Lee, you're going into heads up, but it seems like you knew from the get-go that you were going to be standing here tonight.
Yeah, I've been very confident and playing great. So I expected to be where I'm at right now. I'm going to win it.
And you're sure of that?
Yep.
Going to heads-up action right now. Winner going to take home close to $500,000.
The current chip leader is the former bull rider, longtime poker pro Lee Markholt. He has about $2.4 million in chips. Brian Devonshire, been a poker pro for 4.5 years from Henderson, Nevada, has about $1.5 million. So right now, Lee Markholt with about a 3-2 chip lead. And Vince, as you know, before this final table commenced, Lee Markholt was very confident. He felt like this was going to be his tournament, and he was taking home the title tonight. Let's see if that comes true.
All right, cards being dealt. Action going to the button. That's on Brian Devonshire.
Brian lays down the Jack-3 on the button, and Lee Markholt happy to pick up the pot with just a 9-deuce offsuit. So a good start in this heads-up battle for Lee Markholt. That makes you feel good.
That's the way to start it out if you're Lee.
Well, Brian's still enjoying himself, has been ever since he got to this final table.
Consists of 4 cards of the same rank.
Picked up the book that was in the chip set.
Keep going. I'm learning.
1 pair. This is more my avenue.
Now, this guy has a great attitude at the table. He's been fun all night long.
He's been a happy-go-lucky guy. Said he's just happy to be here. He's going to enjoy the experience wherever he finishes.
He's doing it. All right, action's going to Lee this time with the button.
Well, he limps in on the button with a Jack-4 offsuit.
And Brian behind him with just an 8-4.
And he says, give us a flop.
All right.
So here it comes. Oh, and here it comes. It's come 4-3 deuce. Both players have flopped top pair. Lee Markholt has him out-kicked.
Yes, he does. Action's on Brian first.
Well, he's going to lead out and bet $60,000 here. Now the question is, will Lee raise right now with top pair, or will he play a little cautious? Wants to see if a spade or a straight card comes off. And indeed, that's the case. He just makes the call here for $60,000.
Okay, turn card coming up.
Oh, the Jack of Diamonds, the dream card for Lee Markholt. He has his opponent drawing stone dead right now.
Unbelievable.
He has the top 2 pair. And Brian Devonshire better be very careful right now.
Oh, man. What a card for Lee. 2 pair right there with a jack.
Vince, if you're sitting in Brian's seat, there's no way you're going to think the jack is going to help the guy.
Potential catastrophe. He is making a bet $150,000.
Now, if you're sitting in Lee's seat here, I just can't imagine you're going to give your opponent a free card off the deck, meaning if you just call here, he might catch some type of straight card or 3 of a kind or a flush.
But the former bull rider is trying to figure out how to rope in his guy.
And notice Brian has not taken his eyes off Lee Marcolt here. Just staring him down intently.
And Lee is going in and out of Hollywood here. I mean, he's just doing a lot of different looks and moves, pretending to be weak and then strong, trying to mix up his opponent with tells.
Where is it? He is going to raise it. It looks like it's a $450,000 raise. All of a sudden, if you're in Brian's seat, those 2 4s on the flop don't look very strong anymore.
That could chase you away.
But essentially, all you could beat here is a bluff.
I'm all in.
Wow, Brian has gone all in.
Ooh, wow.
He's quickly been called by Lee and Vince. Brian Devonshire will not outdraw Lee Marcolt here because he's drawing stone dead. This tournament is history. Lee Marcolt is going to be our champion, and it doesn't matter what card comes off on the river because there's no card in the river that Brian can catch to win this pot.
No, there is not. The former bull rider who's been knocking around the WPT for 6 years to try to take a title is going to be our WPT champion.
The 3 of spades comes off on the river, but it doesn't matter. Lee Marcolt takes down his first WPT title.
15 times finishing in the money. Finally taking down a title. He wins close to $500,000.
An unbelievable final hand. Brian picking the wrong time to make a move on Lee.
Lee Marcolt is our champion.
Champion of the World Poker Challenge, Lee Marcolt. Hey, well done. For Vince Van Patten, Layla Cayley, Kimberly Lansing, and everyone at the World Poker Tour, I'm Mike Sexton saying thanks for watching. And until next time, may all your cards be live and your pots be monsters.